Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Archangel with a brand new video for you guys. Today we're going to review Guardians of the Galaxy. Before we get into that, you know the routine. Hope you all feeling good, looking and smelling good. Welcome to the channel. Follow me on Twitch, where I stream every Monday through Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern to 7 p.m. Eastern. The link to that description below is on your screen right now. So, Guardians of the Galaxy. This game surprised the shit out of me. We didn't say the full word. So if y'all like, yo, Ark, you cuss too much. Look, we didn't say the full word, but Guardians of the Galaxy, this new Marvel game of Square Enix, developed by Eidos-Montréal. If you remember back with E3, I literally said, I'm not touching that game. It's gonna suck. And I feel like I was understandably justified in that comment, as being someone who put a lot of time into the Square Enix Avengers game. The Avengers game it had a decent story, but outside of the story, it was kind of crap. Yes, the combat was okay, but outside of, you know, the decent combat when it worked and the good story, everything about that game was bad. It was broken. It was way too grindy. It wasn't really fun. And then you have like some of the predatory things that they did, and some of the things coming out that doesn't really help out anyone who wants to play the game on PC or Xbox. This is about Avengers, about Guardians of the Galaxy. So going into Guardians of the Galaxy, when I just was not expecting a good game. I was expecting Guardians of the Galaxy to be a garbage can. Now I was expecting it to be, a game that was just trying to cash in on the Marvel name, trying to cash in on, Guardians of the Galaxy themselves being one of the most popular Marvel movies in the MCU, just trying to milk money off of it. I didn't like the idea that couldn't play with friends. A game where you have 5 people on a team, but there's no co-op. I didn't like that even while you're playing a solo action adventure game, that there isn't you could only play as one person. And that kind of sucked for me because I'm not a big Star-Lord fan. So out the gate, I had every reason to hate the game. Every reason. I don't like Star-Lord. You gotta play Star-Lord. There was no co-op for a game with 5 characters. Again, I already feel burned by the Avengers game. So I had every reason to go into Guardians of the Galaxy and just hate it. I had every reason to think it was going to be a bad game. I had every reason to think that I was not going to enjoy it. However, the game surprised me. Guardians of the Galaxy might be one of the best games of the year. I tend to, when I actually care to like grind YouTube, I tend to do videos where I do like my top 5 or top 10 games of the year, top 10, top 5 most 50 games of the coming year, and Guardians of the Galaxy will more than likely be on my top 5 games for 2021. It is an amazing game. Like, when I say it's an amazing game, again, remember, I'm telling you this from a standpoint of expecting it to suck, and maybe me having low expectations is why I enjoyed it so much. I don't think it's that. I think I genuinely feel like the people who made this game, Eidos-Montréal, not Crystal Dynamics, are the ones who made Avengers, did a very good job when it came to the story. And even when it came to Avengers, Crystal Dynamics didn't do a bad job with the story. This game, and even after beating it, I beat it on the second hardest difficulty. I'm going to do New Game Plus on the hardest difficulty. Even with the, me hating Star-Lord, and I still hate Star-Lord, past beating the game, it didn't make me like Star-Lord. Star-Lord still sucks. Star-Lord is still a shit character in my opinion. But it was regardless of that. He was very well done. He was very well written. It felt like you were playing the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Comes to how the story was playing out. Comes to the character dialogue, the band, visual characters. If you watch the movies and you play the game, you would think this was written by James Gunn. Eidos-Montréal took a lot from how the movies played out and what people liked about those movies and put it into the game. And it's very noticeable. It's very noticeable that they put a lot of it into the game. This is a very linear game. This is not an open world, game. It's a linear action adventure game, and it kind of plays like Mass Effect. And for those who know me, Mass Effect is my second favorite game franchise all time, next to Halo. It's Halo, there's Mass Effect, number 1, number 2 favorite game franchises all time. So you got me hooked because you have a game that plays like a comedic Mass Effect. And yes, there's comedy in Mass Effect, but it's not the point of the games. Guardians of the Galaxy game, you you have choices, and those choices can dictate the outcome of certain interactions, especially towards the end. Who helps you out at the end of the game is dictated by some choices that you make. Whether or not you got the War Mind to help you out, whether or not you got a console to help. Those kind of decisions matter towards the end of the game. Even when it comes to the combat of the game, it's very action heavy, which is in general, but it also kind of feels similar to that of Mass Effect 3, Mass Effect Andromeda's little action, with having a little more superhero dynamic to it, which obviously because it's a superhero video game. Guardians of the Galaxy's combat is very good. It's very seamless. It's very smooth. The only issues I had with combat was it's very easy to accidentally use moves. I would accidentally use the hurricane move. I don't take my fingers off buttons entirely. I kind of like just move my fingers around instead of just like it's like a little glide. So sometimes I would often accidentally freaking like push down on left stick, which activates Starkiller UI to pull up his abilities. Now I hit B because I'm ready to like do a roll. Also, or we get ready to hit A, and now exit the move. And even when it came to like the little huddle up mode thing they do, the huddle up is basically whenever your back's against the wall and you want to get your allies and yourself full health and you get all your abilities charged up. It's like a last, like you're in trouble, you need something to help you out. Like I almost never did it on purpose. Almost every single time on stream, every single time when I was playing off stream, it was accidental. So I'll be using one of my ally abilities, and I'll hit left bumper to use something else, and it will activate because of activate you had to hit both buttons at the exact same time. So I almost always activate it, and that's I don't want to say it's entirely a negative, but I don't know what would be a way to like not accidentally activate basically your most important utility weapon, which is basically giving you and your allies full health and when it comes to the abilities, there's a decent amount. It's not a lot. It's not really like an RPG. It's very it's a pretty linear game, but it's a good linear game. I remember reading an article and it was like Guardians of the Galaxy example of how to do a linear game correctly, and it is. It's a very good game. And when it came to the abilities, every character, so each individual character, Star Killer, Gamora, Rocket Raccoon, Drax, and Groot all have 3 abilities. Technically everyone has 4. So you have 3 regular abilities. You have your actual character ability that you unlock throughout playing the game. But the other 3 abilities you unlock with get like skill points, and it's kind of like Devil May Cry, where based on like how much damage you're doing and staying in combat would dictate whether or not how much XP you're getting from a combat situation. It's not combo heavy like Devil May Cry, so it's very I won't say rewarding, but it's very forgiving. The fact that you don't have to sit here doing individual combos whatnot to get like an S rank. But like to get Marvelous, which is nice, you can get basically you got to like stay engaged in combat and doing a lot of dodging and getting hit. And more Marvelous you get, the easier it is for you to get upgrade points to upgrade your characters. There's also like a number of costumes and go through the gameplay with regards to looking different for every mission if you want to, or whatever costume you feel is the best. When it comes to the visuals of the game, I played on ray tracing mode. There's 3 modes on Series X. On Series X, ray tracing mode. There's quality mode and performance mode. Played ray tracing mode and the game looks gorgeous. The lighting was great. The atmosphere was phenomenal. The voice acting for this game, the voice acting in this game is amazing. Like across the board, everyone did a phenomenal job. Like not just the Guardians, like everyone who did the voice of each Guardians character, like was amazing. But also the side characters. Mantis is phenomenal. Like I never really cared about Mantis in movies. Didn't really care about Mantis in the comics, but this game, I fell in love with Mantis. She's amazing. Her voice actress did a great job as Selena. She did a like amazing. Corel, phenomenal job did the voice of Corel. So Nikki, every side character was great. Like again, I can't like stress enough. Not just the main characters who matters in the video game. When your support characters and your those side characters are also amazingly casted, amazingly voice acted, amazingly written, it makes the entire game that much better. So kudos to like all those actors, every single one of them. There was not a single moment in the game where I felt like the voice acting was bad. I'm not gonna spoil a lot when it comes to conversational things. I'm not gonna like mention hidden characters that I feel like you should find out what's in the game yourself. But there's some characters in the game who are just really fun, and also like a lot of the Easter eggs. There's a lot of Easter eggs when it came to like not necessarily beating people, but like there's some like the dossiers. You'll like see mentions of other names, and you yo so cool. Like there's just so many moments, and one of the best things about this game is it does all the things that it does without actually relying on the Marvel license. And by that I mean this is a Guardians of the Galaxy game through and through. You don't see anybody else in terms of like the other popular characters. You don't see any the Avengers. The Avengers get mentioned once, get replies, those dudes and pajamas, and that's it. This game takes place in a time where they have not met the Avengers. They don't really know anything about the heroes on Earth. They consider the people on Earth too far behind in the past to involve in space combat. Um, so you won't see those other characters. There are some other characters in Marvel's comics that get mentioned. But you don't really see other characters. This game is a Guardians. And when it comes to um, you know, the environment, this game actually has more than one mission where you're involved in space combat. And which is good. It's mostly on rails, but it's still nice to have. I've always said this: if you're in 2021, you have a space video game, don't have any form of space combat, you're selling gamers short, and that sucks. Your games in 2021 need to have space combat if you're a space combat video game. There's a lot of missions in the game where you're just flying around in space. It makes sense for there to be situations where you're going to be fighting in space and letting the gamer take part in that instead of just having us watch a cutscene happening in space. The game overall, like if I had to give it a score, be an easy 9 out of 10. Easy 9 out of 10. This game's amazing. Like I said, it's going to be my top 5 games of the year because it's an amazing game. I'm surprised it's good. I didn't think it'd be good as it is. It is a crazy good game. A lot of the missions, a lot of the locations you go on are all really good. They all kind of differentiate in the way they look. A lot of different enemy types. It's just an overall great game. I didn't expect it to be. And again, I said at the beginning of the video, I had every reason not to. I had every reason to expect this game to be shit. I had every reason to believe this game wasn't bad. But it wasn't. The biggest negatives for me, how come you're saying all these positive things, Ark? How come it's not a 10? Well, again, we're going to go to the negatives now. I don't like that I can't play as other characters. I don't care about Star-Lord, even though I said he was really written in this game. Even though I said he was amazingly voice acting in this game. I still don't care for the character. I would much rather play as anyone on the team. Keyword there is anyone, so that includes Star-Lord. If you're gonna have a game with five characters, let us select which one you want to play as at any given time. Preferably, I would rather play as Grimoire. I like swords. He has a sword. And I imagine if you let me play as Rocket Raccoon, the sales would went way higher because people love Rocket Raccoon. So people would have bought the game just to play as Rocket. Like guarantee people would have bought it just play. And again, being a five character game with no co-op, another negative. The controls being so easy to freaking accidentally use inputs, that's a negative. I'd also say some how simplistic the combat can get, well, it's also kind of bad. Like it's good combat, it can get very simplistic, and I feel like the game's too easy. Playing on the second hardest level, there's like 4 different. The second hardest one, part of the game, plus on hardest difficulty, is on those 2 is fairly easy. Still, I kind of wish like those back end difficulties were a little bit more difficult, a little bit harder. And I feel like whenever I took damage in the game, it was more just like accidental damage, or like iframes not existing at a necessary situation, or something cheap happening. I feel like sometimes when it comes to like even aiming on it has a very strong aim assist, a very strong aim assist. If y'all know me, y'all know I hate having aim assist on video games. I've heard that exists. But you know, it will funk you trying to aim at one enemy, but it's like forcing you to aim somewhere else. It's like stupid, really. But it's like those are very minor complaints. Like those are very nitpicky. Comes to my complaints of this game, it's very nitpicky. Overall, I enjoyed my entire ride. You know, it's meant to Marvel itself is meant to be a roller coaster. It's meant to be a theme park and amusement park. It's meant for you to just enjoy yourself and have fun. This game delivered in that sense. I would say it's probably one of the best superhero video games that we've ever got. You know, and when it comes to like what you're comparing that to, Spider-Man 2 on PS2, it's like upper echelon, but it's like super outdated. So then nostalgia will be why we consider that game. The Arkham games, clearly, I think if you ask most people what's the best superhero Batman Arkham series, I would say Guardians is up there. I would say in some ways Guardians is better. Say in more ways that was better because of Arkham's it's an as nowhere near game is. I would strongly recommend anyone who's into superhero games to play it. I would strongly recommend anyone who's into a superhero game. The story is very good. If you're someone who like Mass Effect, you will love this game because it feels like a Mass Effect game. The way it plays, the choices matter. Yes, it's not open world RPG. Think of like a linear Mass Effect game. You know, it's worth playing. But with all that said, that's if it's review. Thank you for watching. Hold on. Again, my score for is 9 out of 10. You'll hear more about Guardians of the Galaxy very soon. Trust me. But try it out. You know, it's worth playing. Right now, I don't think it's sold that well on Xbox or just period because again, people are kind of burned out on Marvel itself right now, as well as the Avengers game left a bad taste in a lot of gamers' mouths. But I would say this is one to go play. I recommend this game entirely. Play the freaking game. However, like it's on sale right now on Xbox, and I'm pretty sure on Steam as well. Xbox is on sale to the 2nd of December, so for $40, $30, I forgot how much it is on sale. You don't really lose. It's well worth it. I would say 60. You know, you got to be like really into the genre, but for $40, $30, however much it is for those two, for the sale, go buy the game. It's an amazing game. But with all that said, that's it for you, boy. Music Archangel. Hope you all will be safe, be kind to one another. I'm gonna do my live stream again. Link to have screenshots multiple on the screen right now. Watching my past reviews if you want to. This is yours. Yeah. Yeah, be safe. I'm out. Deuces.